kind of amazed on how little history I actually know. Within an hour and a half of where I was born and raised, York, PA, there's a Civil War battlefield that played a crucial war in the war between the states, Monocacy. Well, when we were just back on our tour of Pennsylvania, we decided to check it out. So, going to share the highlights of the trip to Monocacy Battlefield and start off as usual with the visitor center. Around 7:30 a.m. on July 9, 1864, Confederate troops marched from Frederick down the Georgetown Pike, Urbana Pike, or Route 355, towards Washington, D.C. They expected to find a small unit of untrained 100-day men guarding the bridge over the Monocacy River. The confrontation turned into an all-day fight that cost the Union 1,300 men and the Confederates time and the element of surprise. In the visitor center, you'll find where a bookstore, public restrooms, and an interactive museum are located. Now, when we were visiting, the museum was undergoing renovation, so I can't show you any of that. The visitor center is open Thursday through Monday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is closed Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. And I'll leave links down below for the website for the battlefield. First stop on the tour is where you'll find the East's best farmed Confederate cannon. Confederates outnumbered and outgunned their Union adversaries almost 3-1. After the initial small armed skirmishes between the advanced Confederates, Confederate guns were set up across the Best Farms to try to tame Union forces. Best Farm is the next stop on the tour. As Early's troops advanced south towards Washington on the morning of July 9, 1864, along the Georgetown Pike, now Maryland 355, they met stiff resistance from Union skirmishers waiting at Monocacy Junction. The Confederates set up artillery at the Best Farm and opened fire on the junction. Union artillery across the river responded. The next stop is Worthington Farm. Confederate cavalry crossed the Monocacy mid-morning at the Worthington Ford. They dismounted and formed for attack on the fields behind the Worthington house. As they marched towards the Thomas Farm, they ran into a well-concealed Union line positioned behind a fence. The Federals opened fire, driving the Confederates back. The Confederates launched a second attack and took the Thomas house. The outflanked Federals fell back, attacked, and drove the Confederates back to the Worthington Farm. The next stop is the Thomas Farm. Caught between the two armies, the Thomas house became the focal point of the battle, as Confederates on the Worthington Farm and Federals on the Thomas Farm faced off in the most furious fighting of the day. Confederate artillery pummeled the house with shells to drive off the Union sharpshooters. Throughout the afternoon, the house was captured and recaptured as the battle line moved back and forth across the Thomas Farm. The next stop on the tour is where the final stand took place. Araby Church Road follows the path of the original route of the Georgetown Pike. It was here that Federal forces rallied and pushed back to retake the Thomas house. It was from here that they were forced to retreat after a fierce day of fighting. The final stop on the tour is Granvilles Mill. Built in 1830, Granvilles Mill was run by an interior undershot water wheel. The mill could produce 60 barrels of flour a day and kept two coopers busy producing barrels for its products. During the battle, Union troops used the mill as a field hospital. Wallace later noted, "The place appeared well selected for the purpose, its one inconvenience being that it was under fire." Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I learned a lot. This was the battle to save a nation's capital. And yes, the Union troops lost, but it delayed the Confederates by 1 day on their march towards Washington, D.C., which allowed the Union troops to get to Washington to reinforce and just stop the Confederates from taking over Washington, D.C.
So it was a very important battle. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hey, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, write comments. I really like to hear what you thought of it. And it just lets me know whether I should keep making videos like this. So I really appreciate it. And as usual, have yourself a blessed day.